My husband is my what? The DNA test shattered our marriage. I thought I knew my life, grew up like any other kid in New South Wales, with the minor detail that I was donor conceived. It never really bothered me, until the day my world exploded. You won't believe what my husband and I discovered after a seemingly innocent DNA test. Our marriage is now shaken by an unexpected family connection. I took a DNA test and discovered I'm 23% related to my husband. Hey everyone, as I mentioned, I've known my whole life that I'm a donor conceived person. I grew up in New South Wales, and I didn't think much about it beyond that, you know? Until a couple of years ago, my husband and I decided to take an ancestry DNA test. We thought it would be fun. Maybe I'd find some half-siblings, and he'd learn a bit more about his side of the family. Innocuous, right? Well, we got the results, and I matched with my husband. As a half-sibling, my blood ran cold. At first, I thought it had to be some kind of mistake, or maybe I misunderstood something, but no. After digging deeper, we realized his dad was also a donor. And nitrogen monoxide one ever told him. The betrayal? Now here we are, married for years with 2 kids, and we're still trying to process the fact that we're siblings. It feels like a sick joke. I don't even know how to explain how I feel. It's just overwhelming, a tidal wave of disbelief, anger, and a strange sense of violation. I love him, of course. We've built a life together. But this changes so much. We've already spoken to a genetic counselor, and we're trying to move forward, but it's like everything we thought we knew about our family has been flipped upside down. I just feel kind of lost, adrift in a sea of confusion and uncertainty. Has anyone else here gone through something like this? I'd really appreciate hearing from anyone who has dealt with something similar, or even just your thoughts, because right now, I'm desperate for some kind of guidance. EDIT, wow, this blew up much bigger than I intended. The support is overwhelming. I'm going to speak to my husband about family therapy again and sit on this information for now. We have no interest in going public at this point. We need time to navigate this privately. Relevant comments. Commenter 1. I think you need some family counsel. First, between you and your husband, and then later down the road when you inevitably tell your children. I'm not sure if you're able to take leave from work, but it would be a good idea to look into that because this is absolutely something you need to process without work distractions. I'm in therapy myself, but unfortunately, my husband is not open to that right now. He's in a big denial phase and does not wish to talk about it. That's its own challenge, honestly. Commenter 2. I'm so sorry. This was bound to happen somewhere in the world at some point, given the current unregulated fertility industry that puts profits above the rights and interests of the donor-conceived child. If you're up to it and think it would help, I have a few pieces of media to recommend. The Man with 1000 Kids, a documentary on Netflix. Laura High, content creator and advocate for DCP on TikTok, Instagram, and multiple books, such as Inheritance by Donnie Shapiro, Uprooted, and The Lost Family. I have not come across this particular scenario where children were conceived by accidental incest between DCP, but a lot of how people have other traumas related to the industry will probably resonate. I also understand if you don't want to research the situation. I didn't when I first learned I was DCP, by surprise. Talking to someone is important, though. You will be okay. Your kids will be okay. It's super weird and icky that this happened, but it's not your fault. I've actually seen most of that media and read a couple of books from Australian DCP. I'm lucky to have been told early that I was a donor-conceived person. It was never a huge factor in my life until now. Now it feels like the most defining factor. Update. Thank you so much for all of the responses and advice. I've taken some time to process, and I wanted to provide an update on where we're at. The silence was deafening. First, I have been in individual therapy and working through everything. It's been incredibly helpful to have a space to just unravel my thoughts and feelings. It's like trying to untangle a knotted ball of yarn made of barbed wire. My husband has also told me that he's open to couples therapy, which is a big step for us, and I'm hopeful it will help us navigate this together. It feels like a tiny sliver of hope in a vast darkness. To confirm some things, yes, my father-in-law is the donor, which makes him not only my husband's father but also mine. I still shudder when I type that. It was a lot to take in. We're both really angry that my husband's dad never told him the truth. It feels like he robbed us of our past and jeopardized our future. At the moment, neither of us are talking to him. It's just too much. We've also discovered about 40 other siblings so far, all of whom live nearby. That was another layer of this experience we weren't prepared for. The implications are staggering. We haven't met them all yet, but knowing they're out there brings its own set of challenges and questions. It's like discovering a secret society you never knew existed, and suddenly, you're a member. As for our marriage, no, we're not divorcing. We love each other and are committed to working through this, even if it means facing the most difficult challenge of our lives. But we haven't told our children yet. We plan to get professional advice before we do. This isn't something we want to rush into without understanding the best way to approach it for their sake. Their well-being is our top priority. I know many of you are part of the donor-conceived community, And I just want to say that while I'm very aware and involved in spaces like We Are Donor Conceived and I follow creators like Laura High, Donor Dylan, The Queer Mama, Rachel strangers like Medicine, Sunny Evia Luke, etc., I'm not interested in speaking to anyone publicly about our situation. I'm really proud of people like Victoria Hill for going public, but that's not what's best for my family right now. Our privacy is paramount. Thanks again for listening, for the advice, and for your understanding. We're taking this one day at a time, clinging to each other and hoping for the best. This is more than I could have ever expected. Commenter, so very impressed with you both. This must be such hard work. My heart goes out to you. As a donor, this is my greatest fear. I was not anonymous by choice. Back in the day, the fertility clinics capitalized on our naivete. So, Reddit, after hearing my story, the discovery, the anger, the confusion, the potential sibling situation, and the commitment to our marriage, do you think I'm handling this the best I can? I'm really struggling to navigate this situation, and I'm open to any advice or perspectives you might have. How would you handle a situation like this? Am I missing anything? Any input from people with similar experiences or just general wisdom would be greatly appreciated.